Hey guys, I'm Chef Michael Keane and welcome to the Feel Good Now Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a new twist on a dish you've seen before, bruschetta. What's going to make this different is first, it's 100% organic. We're working with products that we consider to be sustainable, and that's good for you and it's good for the environment. The other twist that we're going to be doing is the inclusion of these beautiful Concord grapes. What this is going to do is give us a little bit of acidity as well as sweetness to balance off the balsamic vinegar marinade and really accentuate the basil element. So all I'm doing now is separating off some of the grapes. I already washed these. That's really important because you never know what's in the dust out there. Now we can cut the grapes in half. Don't have to go too small. Halves are fine. It's nice to have that little bit of crunch, but this is going to allow the balsamic vinegar marinade to soak right in. And then we'll also chop our beautiful cherry tomatoes in half. Now, of course, if you're in a hurry, you can do this all in a food processor. I prefer a knife. It makes me feel a little more connected to my food, and I think the results are just a little bit better. But there's no real problem with it. Still going to get a great result. Our next ingredient is this gorgeous organic basil. Ah, that is summer. What we have to do now is go ahead and separate the stems off of the leaves, and you'll notice I'm just making a pile of them all right here. This is the easiest way to julienne basil rapidly. Now we just roll all of those beautiful leaves up into a nice tight cigar shape, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'll cut cross length along the entire length of the cigar. So just remember to hold a little bit of that basil aside because we're going to use that later as a garnish. Now that we've sliced off all of our cherry tomatoes and our sweet, delicious grapes, it's time to make a sauce for the marinade. First, we're going to do just a little bit of honey in here. Doesn't need a ton. I'm not trying to add a whole huge amount of sweetness, but basically what we're looking for is probably about 2 tablespoons here. You can adjust this to taste. Next, we're going to add a little balsamic vinegar. I like a nice aged balsamic, but a good trick to remember when you're doing this is that you can actually buy an affordable version, and by mixing the honey, you add a lot of those extra flavors into it that you're buying with the more expensive balsamic vinegar. And then I mix that together. As a marinade, you don't have to worry too much about it being perfectly mixed because the different elements grabbing on will be fine. And the final and very simple addition that I like to do is some of this very nice Himalayan sea salt. Salts are one of those items where you can add a lot of really interesting flavor and complexity without a whole lot of drama. And now it's time to combine our marinade and our base ingredients and let this whole thing start building its delicious flavor. And go ahead and toss it so we can begin combining all of these beautiful flavors. And now that all of our ingredients are combined, you're going to want to let this marinate for around an hour. Remember to cover the bowl tightly and keep it in the fridge.
For the bread to serve up our bruschetta on, I've chosen a petit pain, or a small French baguette. And what I like about this is it's got some nice chewy texture, it's made here locally, and then it's got enough body that it can actually hold up having a liquidy thing on it. So now to slice this off, I'm just going to go ahead and at an angle, try and cut. I'm going to have some discard pieces and then just try and cut myself little medallions that I can then use. Some of these are going to have holes in them from the air pockets, in which case just go ahead and choose the ones that'll work for you. So like that's going to be perfect. And to spread on top of our beautiful French baguette, we're going to use a local organic goat cheese. This is creamy, this is rich, this is going to give us a really nice flavor balance to the little bit of acid that's coming from our grapes, tomatoes, and balsamic vinegar. It's going to be delicious. And now to put our bruschetta together, we're going to get a nice little spread of this goat cheese, and I'm going to get that all over the bread. So now I'll just get a little bit of a scoop here of our marinated element, and then just arrange it on top. You're going to notice that it wants to fall off. This is where you got to be a little bit of hands-on with this. You're going to just place them on top loosely and then push it in a little bit. And that is going to be delicious. This has been our recipe for nutritious, delicious bruschetta. It's organic, it's sustainable, it's good for the planet, it's good for you. Enjoy. Buon appetito.